While everyone's joining, let's pick a car and take it around the track. As soon as I ensure the stream is running well, do exactly that. What about now? Testing, testing. What about now? Testing, testing. Alright, that is an affirmative. Stream sounds. Hey Malika. Thanks for joining in. Alright, so let's do this. We're putting the phone on silencio. Popping out that chat so I can see everything y'all say to me nice and big. And I'm gonna scooch over here and see if I can get a couple laps in with both cars. See what we're looking at in terms of performance for my apologies, y'all. Technical malfunction. I dropped my controller, which unplugged everything. Anyway, we're gonna take the cars around the track a couple times, see if everything comes out even in the end. I'm guessing it does for both of these cars. We found that from the last race that the Pagani, the Zonda, is very nimble. Very good on tires, a lot better on tires than the McLaren is, and we found that the McLaren is obviously a straight line beast with all that hybrid power, but not so great in the corners. So it should make for, well, it made for really good close racing in the last race in last week. So hopefully we'll get the same thing this week. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna get on track, but I realize I would like to share the stream link in the ESGT Discord channel, so I'm just grabbing that right now. That's right. Copy pasta. And live streams. And guess what? I don't have to do it. There's a bot in the Discord that automatically does it. Wow, the technology's great. Alright, y'all, just so you take a look at the BOP here, the Zonda only gets to keep 90% of its power. It keeps 100% of its weight. The tires are racing hards for all races. So you're looking at a tire that should fit this profile of car pretty well. Alright. Let's see what we got, see how far we can get before the start. Meanwhile, I'm gonna keep the chat open so I can see what all's going on. Spa is hard. It's not one of my strongest tracks. But let's see what we can do in these crazy track day specials. Alright, a little over the line. You know, you forget, just because of how fast these cars are in a straight line, I forget that they're not quite as nimble as like a GT3 in the corners, but they just seem like they would be, right? Which is part of the fun. Oh shit. And they almost feel like them. They're very composed. You can tell there's a lot of grip there, but it's just not, you know, GT3 race car levels of grip. I like this time of day. Yeah, like I should be able to full throttle coming out of that in GT3. I'd have the downforce. I'd have the grip to do it. As you saw, I had to lift in the middle of that because this car was not going to get around that full throttle. So you definitely have to respect these cars. You have to drive them a bit more gingerly. They are a really good mixture between a professional track car, like a professional race car, and a street car. You know, not a street car that you and I are very familiar with, unless you are, you know, one of those people who is able to shop for a McLaren P1 or a Honda. But you do have to respect it and understand that it has a lot less grip than a dedicated race car. So, well, a dedicated GT3 car. There are definitely race cars that this has more grip than, which is, again, fantastic. It's like a really cool toy for people who, I guess, play in that tax bracket. So here's our first full lap in this. Overcooking La Source. I tried. Overcooked it a lot. Spinning it. It's alright. But we can't count this lap time, can we? Up through Eau Rouge, Radillon, you do lift, and then give it some gas here to go out on the, what's this straight called? The Kemmel straight? Kemmel? I don't know if it's called the Kemmel straight, but Kemmel comes to mind. Coming down into Les Combes, this wide, deceptively slow chicane here. The hairpin, whose name I don't remember. Blanchimont? Blanchimont? Somebody find me a spa track map and post that link up in the comments. We need the corner names. It's very important. Ah, come on, Petey. Give me a chance. So through the really fast stuff, as you can see, you still have to lift a lot in this car, so I would imagine that's even worse than the McLaren. Let's go get a trap speed coming onto the straight. We'll call it Kemmel. Just to get an idea of top speed with this car, and then we'll hop in the McLaren and see what the McLaren does there. Let's do La Source right this time. There we go. Better. Much better. Can't post links. Alright. No worries. Thank you, though. I don't have control to change that. So, that's alright. I appreciate you. Alright, let's see how fast we get. Had a pretty good entrance onto the straight, I think, before I have to slam on the brakes. About 177. In this car, 177 mile an hour. Let's hop in the McLaren and see what she does. The McLaren only gets 60% of its power in this league's BOP, which makes sense. It makes a lot more power than the Zonda. It also keeps 100% of its weight. I don't think their weight is too far off from one another. I was wrong. The Zonda... Really? Really? Even in BOP? Yeah. Interesting. The Zonda weighs a lot less. For similar horsepower amounts, I didn't mean to remove that. So, you know, the McLaren's at 670 horsepower under this BOP, and the Zonda's at 663. So we're talking about a 7 horsepower difference here. On a car that's a solid 600 pounds lighter, and yet somehow they still kind of come out behind the McLaren in a lot of ways. Not all the ways. Anyway, let's get into the McLaren, see what a lap looks like. The P1's weight has been modified to 95. Okay. Guess we gotta go fix that. Is that in the regulations for this race? Oh, it is. It is. The power's still the same, but the McLaren's weight has been modified. Alright, let's wait for you. 95% weight. So the weight comparison is a little more favorable. The McLaren lost about 120 pounds, 130 pounds. Alright, let's see. Now this car does have DRS. DRS stands for Drag Reduction System. And that means it does exactly what it says it's going to do. It is meant to reduce drag. So, what is drag? For those of you who may not be familiar with aerodynamic terms. Oh god, please turn. And what they might mean. I asked them to turn to turn, that's cute. And what they might mean in terms of racing. Well, drag is basically air resistance. So air, even though you and I walk through air just fine, you can't really feel air unless the wind is blowing or you're running quickly into it. Air does create drag. It does have mass. It does have an effect on things. Oh, fuck me. Even things as heavy as a car. Alright, McLaren. We're not having a good time together, but I remember from last week, this guy is not easy to drive. I'm going to send that brake bias a bit to the front. Just for me, it's a bit rearward. I'm losing the rear end on braking, so see if maybe I can keep it from doing that. Anyway, drag, air. Your car is cutting through the air, and every molecule of oxygen and nitrogen or whatever is in the air is actively trying to hold that car back. And so, air resistance is something that race car engineers have to take into consideration, especially when you look at cars like this, which have a lot of aerodynamic pieces added. You see this wing on the back here, you got a big giant wing, you got a big old splitter in the front, plus canards. Yeah, you can see the canards. Anyway, all of that is to try to use some of that air resistance, right? It's to grab the air and force the tires into the ground more to achieve what's called downforce. But downforce equals drag. There's no way around it. If you are adding what is basically an air catcher, you're going to catch air. And so, cars with DRS have systems by which certain aerodynamic elements, usually the rear wing, are able to move into a position where they do not catch as much air, and that downforce is reduced, but so is the drag. And I'll show you when we get to the back straight with this car. I'll show you how it works on this car, what it looks like. Just off the top of my head, racing series that use drag DRS, Formula 1 for sure. I believe DTM still uses DRS. So here we are on the back straight. I'm going to start it. Watch that rear wing. Watch what it does when I hit this button. Boom! Slide back. Let me go a little bit quicker. Already hitting 184 miles an hour, and I didn't even get a good entrance, a good exit out of Eau Rouge, out of the Gradillon. So it's already clear that this is much faster in a straight line than the Zonda is. But it's a much harder car to drive. It's probably really satisfying to put together a good lap in this thing, though. Yes, physics! Sorry if I did a bad job explaining it, but I was trying not to crash and also use words. So anyway, the reason that you want DRS, or, you know, I'm not saying you want it, I'm saying the reason DRS exists is because when you're going in a straight line, you don't need downforce. You don't need a lot of it. You don't care about pushing the tire into the ground to get grip, right? At that point, your goal is to get as fast as possible and to cut through the air as quickly as possible. And so you reduce that drag. In cars that are so equipped, as soon as you hit the brakes, usually that drag comes back for you. The wing flips back up, catches the air, almost acts kind of as an air brake. Some street cars actually have systems that are similar. Instead of reducing the drag, they increase the drag when you're on the brakes to make sure you stop. Thank you. But in the case of the McLaren, I think it just puts the wing back to its normal position and gives you your downforce, because if you're on your brakes, it's anticipating that you are probably entering a corner and you want your downforce back. The Zonda does not have a DRS system. I think this is a stuck check, so I shouldn't have gotten back on track. That's my fault. Hopefully I don't affect anything. I don't think I should. Just being in the lobby is enough to affect it if it's going to affect anyone. It's me. I'm racing too. It's me. Also racing. Alright, I'm gonna at least hit, you know, turn one with these guys. Let's see what we can get. I expect the Zondas will be able to outbrake us. Definitely turn on the traction control with this thing. I just don't even want to try to modulate the pedal. Just pin it and let the computer do the work. There we go. Thank you. Thanks, computer. Zonda, please. Got out of that pretty nice. Put a little DRS on, see if I can catch that Valerian. I didn't do a great job there at all. Very bad job. By the way, you can also see in this car on the bottom left under the gas fuel gauge thing there's what looks like a battery. That is the hybrid component of this car. So this car's just more advanced than the Zonda in a lot of ways. It's definitely a technology showcase. I'm missing two cars. It may be the same people I was incompatible with last week. Well, I know I was incompatible with shit, I don't remember anymore. There was somebody I could not see last week. I'm gonna leave the lobby and come back in and see if that helps. But I think they were overseas folks. Overseas for me. And so sometimes it just doesn't work. The crazy looking car. Ethan was one of them. I'm taking a look. I'm not gonna get back on track though. It looks like you guys are ready to get started on qualifying. I've got Ethan now. Do I have everyone? Oh no. Was everyone kicked there, or was I the only one kicked there? Nope, the room still exists, so it was me. Huh, what is going on? I reset my router and all that jazz before starting the stream. I think there's just somebody that I'm not compatible with who races with you guys. I don't have these issues anywhere else. And I don't have a co-streamer to stream this today. You know, I meant to work during the week to figure out who it was that I had issues with, but I wasn't able to get in the chat and see. But maybe this week I can work with the staff to have some lobby set up and we can try to figure out what the combination is that's messing up. But I don't know that there's anything we can really do about it. So you said I had everybody. That's 8. Let's see if I can actually see everybody. Whoops, I did the wrong thing. No. Not what I'm looking for. Jesus. I'm doing great today. Alright, everyone's coming out for qualifying now. Let's get all the timing up, make sure that we're able to see everyone's everything. Thank you for verifying for me, MOP, that I got everyone. Who's that sitting there? It's Nick, but he's taken off now, so it's not stuck for me. Alright, qualifying consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Zondas and 2 P1s. They're ganging up on the McLarens, guys. Everyone in the Paganis. Oh, Ethan had a moment. So did Mba. It's okay. It's just the outlap on quali, so no harm, no foul. Hopefully they can get back up and... Yeah, looks like they've dusted themselves off pretty well here. And they're gonna go too wide through the hairpin. That's fun. Let's get these corner names up here for you all. Oh, you know what? I'm not allowed to post links. So if you don't know Spa corner names, then you will probably learn them today because we're working on it. I'm working on it today. All right, I'm gonna remember these corner names and it's gonna go great. We're gonna follow Nick as Nick nears the end of a lap. Actually, I lied. We're gonna follow Bruni. Bruni did very, very well last week. Good job racing. So we're gonna go on board with them for a lap through Spa-Francorchamps. It's one of the best tracks in the world, if you ask me. It's one of the oldest tracks in the world. A good old school European track from, you know, I think World War II era was when this track was built. All right, that's through the bus stop. Bruni is gonna cross the finish line here, start line here, and hard on the brakes into La Source. Very difficult hairpin. Very, very acute angle hairpin. You try to get out of it straight so you can get on that throttle as quick as possible for this awesome downhill run right here, as close to the wall as you can. Set yourself up for Eau Rouge, which is the left, and La Radillon, which is the right, to go on to the Camel Straight. I was right, it's the Camel, K-E-M-M-E-L. Camel Straight is the fastest part of the track. Somebody is spinning back there, but we're gonna stay with Bruni. Get as fast as you can, and then hard on the brakes again, going into Le Combe chicane. It's quick, but it's slow. It's hard to explain. It is deceptive. And then this corner, Malmedy and Bruxelles, the round hairpin here. I'm probably pronouncing that right. Oh, Bruni overcooked it a lot. Not good at all. That's okay. That's okay. Kind of dealing with dirty tires now. Got someone behind them. They should probably let them go. Yeah, Bruni's letting Vlave pass by. Good sportsmanship there. Gonna follow Vlave into the double gauche, which literally just means double left. Because it's a double left. Headed into Le Fagne, which is kind of like a chicane. It's right-left, both 90 degrees, but not as tight as a chicane, so I guess you wouldn't call it one. But it's kind of like one. Down into Campus. Also a deceptively difficult corner because it is downhill in the braking zone and the camera's a little bit weird. This corner right here, Stavelot. You got buildings all around. Stavelot and an open field here. It's a really nice place to sit and watch races at Spa. We are at the end here. This is a Paul Frere's corner. Paul Frere, you know, let's not get into Paul Frere's history. You can look him up if you're interested. And down into the bus stop chicane, which it's still called the bus stop. Oop, careful. Its actually official name is just the chicane, but it is colloquially known as the bus stop chicane because it used to be shaped like a bus stop chicane, which is one where you turn in. So let's say you make a left, it's an immediate right, and then another right and then a left to get out, just like if you were pulling into a bus stop. Alright, Bruni, not a good lap through that. Let's go see who's got good times from that. Vlave with a, I can't see his lap time, there we go, with a 2:15.9. Ethan right behind with a 2:16.7. Ethan tucked in behind MOP there for a little bit of slip, but tucked back out. Looks like MOP is letting them go. Anyway, MOP with a 2:17.9, 2:17.6 rather, with third place. And Nick must not have had a great lap because Nick's an entire 2.7 seconds behind that. So it looks like these top three are the first legitimate times that we have on the board. Uh-oh. Bruni's a little bit in Ethan's way here. I hope that didn't mess up Ethan's lap. Trying to get around Bruni. Typically in qualifying, you try to spread out so you're not ruining anyone's lap, but every now and then you do end up basically racing. And it looks like that's kind of what's going on here. Hopefully these guys figure it out and break it up so they can both get good, fair qualifying laps, because there's not a whole lot of time left here. Oh, Vlave sliding a little bit through. Not Stavelot. We just learned these corner names. What's this corner before Stavelot? Campus. A little bit of a slide through Campus. I told you, it's a difficult corner. Easy to overcook it. Very easy to overcook it. That corner, like I said, the braking zone is downhill. And then it's a little bit off camber as well. So it's a corner that you have to be very, very patient in. Coming into it, rather. Vlave comes through the bus stop to finish up their second full lap here, coming in at a 2:17.3, so just not a great lap. Ethan inherits first place by 2.1 seconds to Vlave, so it looks like that first lap and maybe even the second lap just hasn't been that great for folks. Looks like they've got time to get in 2 more laps here though, so see what's going on. Mba comes in in second place. They weren't anywhere in the top 3 before. Good job there. Still plenty of time to change this. You know, anyone could come in from behind. Bruni could come in and take first. Avalarion, it's still anybody's quali. It looks like the qualifying is maturing. We'll refer to it as maturing. I call it maturing when everyone spreads out and starts running their own race in an endurance race, and it looks like that's finally happening in quali. Everyone's got plenty of space here. Ethan again still running it first, trying to maybe improve on that time. Uh-oh. We got MOP running up on Bruni here. I don't know what's going on. Bruni just doesn't seem to be on the pace, or are the McLarens just that much faster around here in the straight parts, and then kind of struggling everywhere else? It's interesting to see. That said, Ethan is running a McLaren up front. Mba is not, but Mba is an entire 4/10 behind time, so it's going to be interesting to see what MOP does here, though I do believe that that lap is potentially ruined as they spin a lot of corners behind Rooney. Ethan is now rounding Stavelot and slowing down to let others pass. I don't know if he's just happy with his time, but I expected to see him going for it here. Let's go on board with MOP. Let's see what MOP can do in this final lap. Don't embarrass yourself, MOP, you're on TV. Let's get it. Nice, tight into the chicane. Patience, patience, patience. Then get on that gas, but slowly. There you go. Once you get in that straight line, you hit it. Hit it towards La Source. Running low on hybrid power here, but should have enough to last through the fastest parts of the track. Good, decent entry into La Source. And an exit. That second gear seems really short. Almost useless. I wonder if it's worth taking this car out of there in third gear. It almost doesn't seem worth it for second in the really slow corners, but what do I know? I didn't practice with this car. Anyway, into the Kemmel straight. He's probably going to use the rest of that hybrid and got the DRS going maybe. And hard on the brakes. Should bring back a little bit of hybrid power on the brakes. No, does that not work correctly? Yeah, it's working. You see some of that battery pack refilled. It should refill on the brakes. Oh, bad deal there. Just big mistake in Lecombe. Should have time to get in another lap though, so if he can just finish that lap up, if he can just cross the line within 2 minutes here, should be able to start another lap. Maybe it's the commentator's curse. I'm just gonna leave everyone alone. Let's just watch qualifying. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk. Sorry, MOP. It's my bad. Yeah. That was an interesting way to lose it. Probably an aerodynamic thing, it seems, because I don't think Ethan did anything wrong. Just looking at inputs. I wish I had if I had my keyboard plugged in, we probably could have watched a replay of that. But yeah, I think that was just aero, just a fast corner. And being right behind the car and being in dirty air, seems like something got a little bit light on him there. Man, so who's Flav with a new quali time, 2:15. Mba finishing up a lap right now in third place. Let's see if they can increase their position. Bruni up to 5th after crossing the line another time. Not on a good lap, actually. I didn't realize. Yeah, that was a 2:27. I think that's going to be the end of quali. I thought maybe some people could get another lap in, but I don't think it actually works that way. I don't think it will increase the time. I haven't got a lot of experience with the quali lobby, so I haven't paid attention. But the order right now is Ethan in first with a 2:13.7. Vlave in second with a 2:15.4. Mba in third with a 2:15.4 as well. MOP fourth with a 2:16.9. Bruni with a 2:17 in fifth. And then at the bottom, you've got Nick in sixth with a 2:18. Yeah, but we could take a look at the race results at the end, because that's what really matters here. It's a small field today, but you know, if the qualifier was any indicator, we should have a somewhat close race. From the pack here, but we'll see. The first race is going to be 6 laps. Tire wear is 11x. There's no fuel consumption in these races. Standing start with false start check, and they're off. Someone is stuck on track for me. It's MOP And that's because I've been kicked from the lobby and will not be able to stream this race for you all. Well, that's not true. I can still stream the race, but I'm not going to be able to see laps and stuff. Let's try to get back in here. Hopefully we can get back in quickly. My apologies. Would have been nice to see how everyone did going into La Source on turn 1. On lap 1, rather. Having trouble rejoining. I may need to reset things again. Sorry guys, try to avoid this from it happening last week. But issues. Okay, well, looks like it's letting me in this time. Let's see if it fully does. So we got a good glimpse of the muscular haunches of the McLaren P1 there. You know, McLaren's design language is just... love it or hate it. It's curvy. I love it. I think it's great. Pagani, on the other hand, I haven't always been the biggest fan of their styling. Alright. As we are halfway through the first lap here, a little over halfway, it looks like Flav has gotten first, so we missed the pass for position there. Ethan, right behind though, not too far. Mba, still up in third, trying to fight off Avalarian, who was in last place, and now up to fourth. Now there is a chance that the order could be wrong for me. I could not be seeing someone. But I think I've got everyone. There were 7 in the lobby behind me, besides me. And I'm showing 7 on track. But Avalarian up into 4th and challenging. Mba said, don't let my qualifying position fool you. I do this. MOP in 5th, just trying to see if maybe they can get in there while Bruni is behind them. Also just trying to tuck in. I would tuck in right there, Bruni, and wait for a nice slipstream in the Kemmel Straight and see if we can get some positions there. But actually probably not against the McLaren, but you can at least use the McLaren slip. Meanwhile, Nick is way back there, just not having a good time, it looks like. Unfortunately, if you come into a race after it has already started, you can't see what lap people are on. I think you can see split times after the second lap. We'll see, but right now you can see I can't tell how far anyone is from anyone else. Wow, this battle for 4th though is getting up there. These guys aren't giving up. Let's just follow them for a little bit and see what's going on. Led by MOP, just trying to get away from some of those Paganis. 2 of those Paganis. It's not easy through the curvy stuff, but if you can just hold on until they get to the straight, maybe they can put up enough of a gap that it won't matter, and they can start chasing Mba, start looking for a podium position here. That's if Avalarian and Bruni don't get them out of the way first. 3 cars heading to campus. Down into Stavelot after that. MOP's got a little bit of a gap going there. Oh, and Bruni overcooks it coming out of Stavelot. Loses a lot of time there. Bruni has left the room. Don't know if that's a disconnect or what, but that's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Flav has been able to contain Ethan, able to hold him back to the 2nd place so far. Slowing down to let Ethan by. I wonder if there was a contact there or something maybe. But Flav has just given 1st place up and given it to Ethan. Looks like they slowed down on purpose. So maybe we did miss some contact. Again, we've seen time and time again that these guys, you know, they know sportsmanship. They know when they mess up. Though the stewards also do a great job of watching replays and and checking the incidents and seeing who's at fault for them. But still encouraged to just give the position back. You know, if you know you messed up, you messed somebody up, give it back. Your penalty will probably be less severe than it would be if you hit someone, took a position, and kept it. Still looking for that fight for fourth. Yeah, MOP now taking pressure from Avalarion again, even though they had eked out a really good gap. Makes me want to just follow this race. Let's see. Let's see it from Avalarion's perspective. Oop, a little squirrely there. You can already see the difference in tire wear on these cars, especially look at the rears on the McLaren. They're just a little bit more worn than the rears on the Pagani. And over a 6-lap race, that difference will start to add up towards the end. So I'd love to see what the McLaren's going to do. If they're going to be able to do something, if they're going to pit for tires, or if they're going to choose not to pit, just stay out on the tires they have. And if that's the case, they need to be doing a lot of work at the very beginning of the race to get a big gap between them and the Paganis behind, because the Paganis will not need to take tires. So you can see through that last section there. Oops, sorry. That section between, like, basically Campos to Stavelot, Ethan or MOP ekes out a big lead on Avalarion. Oh, but what happened? Maybe just overclicked a little bit. Saw that McLaren rotated a bit on them. Not great until Asus, but it's okay. Mistakes were made. Mistakes can be fixed. Ethan, meanwhile, up front, and I can see split times, and I can confirm that Ethan's on the right strat. We've got a 3.3 second lead over Vlave, and it's growing, and the gap is growing because they were in the chemistry. So that McLaren is way quicker there. Vlave, meanwhile, just barely able to catch a glimpse of Ethan in the corner ahead. Maybe hoping that the McLaren driver will make a mistake there and let him back in. It's pretty much all you can do. Put your head down, make sure you hit all your marks, hit your braking, hit your apexes, just get those fast laps. Be smart about it and hope the person in front does something wrong. Don't focus on them. You can't do anything about them when they're that far ahead of you. Meanwhile, Umba is held on to third place. They've had a relatively drama-free race. Vlave's teammate here, Vlave's livery mate, a little bit squirrely on the outside of the double gauche. Just went out into that AstroTurf. It's very slippery there over the curb. Saw the car get a little bit sideways, but nothing too dramatic. However, that does increase that gap to Vlave, and it's a 3.8 second gap. Avalarion is 3.1 seconds behind them. MOP 2.6 seconds behind Avalarion, and Nick, a huge 7.8 second gap, 8.4 second gap. Nick, are you slowing down? What are we doing? No, looks like he's got that throttle pinned. It's just not really working out. I understand, man. Sometimes that's how the race falls for you. Ethan, meanwhile, finishing up a lap here. Tires are starting to be a little bit worn. We're coming into lap 5 though. It's only one more lap after this, so no need to pit. It looks like the McLarens are able to hold on to that tire wear. Look at this excellent angle into Lesus. I love that. That was a great angle there. That camera angle. Oh, and what just happened there? I think I can't see MOP anymore, I think is what happened. I don't think they actually went off track. But on my camera, they went way off track, went way left, but I can't actually see. Yeah, no, they exist still. What happened? Maybe a glitch for me. They are probably still on track. We've obviously been having issues. So hopefully I don't get kicked from the lobby here. Hopefully we can... Never mind, we're getting kicked from the lobby. network issues are fun. Hope we can catch the last lap. Come on, let me in. Let's see what everyone's doing. Yeah, MOP is still up there in 4th place, so good. They did not actually run into a wall. Ethan's still leading coming into this last lap here. And holding the fastest lap as well at 2:18.1, which is respectable for race pace in a tire wear race, where I think the best qualifying lap was what, a 2:14, 2:15. Not too bad there. Let's see, what do we got here? We got Avalarian trying to hold off MOP, but it looks like MOP might be getting closer. I don't know. We're gonna keep an eye on this. Towards the back, the last half, Mba out of 3rd place and into 5th. Did not notice that. I don't know what happened there, but obviously it was a big deal. We missed that. Bruni and Nick are still just running their own races in the back there. So it looks like the big challenge is gonna be this this race for 4th place. Avalarian, by the way, making it up to 3rd from where they were in the order. Just well done. I believe they were last, if not Nick. Oh, a little mistake. Was that a mistake, or is that just the line MLP likes to take there? Either way, I don't think it worked out in his favor, because Mba just got a lot closer there. Tires for both looking pretty bad. A little bit worse on the McLaren than on the Paganis, but it's actually not as different as I thought it would be towards the end of this race. Meanwhile, these two continue to battle it out. MOP a little bit wide there, just a little bit, and those are the little mistakes, just those little things that let that car in front of you get further. Yeah, and that's that. That was the end of that. MOP just wide into Campus, and Mba slid in there, slid into the inside. There's not much of a chance that MOP is gonna be able to do anything between here and the end of the track. We have one more corner after the curve here, the Paul Frere. They're gonna head into the bus stop chicane right here. Mba a little bit defensive going into there, but I really don't think they had anything that they needed to defend. I think that's their position. They're gonna come in 4th, not too bad, just one position down from where they started. But it's Ethan with the race, running away with both quali and the race. Big gap in qualifying. Vlave into 2nd. After him, Avalarian up into 3rd. Mba down into 4th. MOP 5th. Bruni in 6th. And Nick still finishing, gonna cross the line right here in 7th place. That is race 1, y'all. Pretty good race. Some close racing. Definitely had some position swaps, which you love to see. My apologies for the things that were missed. Just having some network issues here, it looks like. But, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So race 2 will actually get started pretty shortly. Race 2 is in 5 minutes, it looks like, per MOP. And it's basically the finishing order, except reversed. So it's a reverse grid race. You get +2 points on your positioning, on your finishing position. Nick has left the room. Hopefully they're coming back. They get to start this racing first. The time of day on the track will be 11 a.m. This will be 9 laps instead of 6. However, tire wear will be brought down to 8x instead of 11. So I think it'll be the... Has anyone been watching any of the professional esports? I will be the first to admit I haven't seen any races. I haven't watched any Formula One, or I think NASCAR is also doing some esports. It just hasn't been in my purview, but I will be trying to tune into Monaco tomorrow. Alright, reverse grid is set. Let's look at those race results real quick. Let's take a look at the lap chart. Should be able to see positional changes. Oh, no we can't. Looks like with the reset, the lap chart disappears. It still shows the race results from the last race, but not able to see anyone's lap. I don't know what this orange is. Oh, it's Vlave. It's Vlave's fastest lap in the race. 2:17.8. So looks like he took that at the last minute away from MOP, or sorry, Ethan. I don't know why I keep switching up the two McLaren drivers. Let's see, someone going out on track to get a little extra practice there. Looks like it's MOP. Trying to keep that McLaren at bay, under control. It's a beast, a technological beast, but definitely a beast. You know, I don't know if there's a comparison on ease of driving between these two cars IRL, but in the game, yeah. The two Renegade liveried Paganis going out together. We do a recon lap or two. I miss my stream partner, guys. Akai is really good. He's a good stream partner. Couldn't make it today. And I'm lonely and hurt. Shook that he would leave me out in the world like this, all by myself to commentate. Kind of mesmerizing. You just watch. Oh man. If I can reset my router, I have to end the stream. So I think it's better, instead of splitting the stream up, I'm just gonna have to keep coming in and out of this room, which isn't fun. Also, I don't think it's going to help, so I'd rather not waste the time. Should just be a couple minutes here. Looks like they did change the grid order to the correct grid order. And now we wait. Alright, let's go. Get it started. We got a boop, boop, boop. That's the sound of the lights before they turn green. Boop, 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 beep. That's the beep. Ah, 2 people aren't moving for me. Which is no good. We're gonna hop out and hop back in, and hopefully we can get everybody moving on track. Oh. Alright, you know what? I will go ahead and do the router reset, and hopefully we don't miss too much of the race. My apologies, everyone.